Good morning, students. Welcome to today's class. Hope you all have got the unit test portion and you have started the revision also. We are also with we are doing we are doing matter. This chapter is not there in unit test portion, but along with this chapter, we will be doing the revision work also. Okay, uh, and as we will continue this chapter today, but before that few confusions are there that let me clear that. One question was there, that is from the first chapter, introduction of chemistry. This chapter is there in the unit test portion along with element, compound and mixture. These two chapters are there in unit test portion. So the question was there that who is the father of modern chemistry. The answer will be Lavoisier. Okay, in the study material, the answer is there, Lavoisier. That will be the correct answer. And in your book, it's there, Robert Boyle. Though Boyle is also having some so many contributions on modern chemistry and all, but he is not the father of modern chemistry. So, as father of modern chemistry, we will be calling Lavoisier only. Okay. Now, let us start the chapter. Start this today's class, effect of heat on matter. So to see the effect of heat on matter, we will today we are going to do some simple experiment, one with butter, and instead of butter we can take wax also, and another with orange juice or any kind of juice we will be doing. Okay, so in the first experiment, what we will do, we will take some butter or wax in a pan. Okay, so in up to 32 degrees centigrade temperature, like, okay, this we will consider as room temperature. So at room temperature, butter or wax both are solid. We can see that these are solid, but if we gradually increase the temperature, uh, it starts melting butter and wax, and afterwards if we apply sufficient heat, then we will be getting the liquid form of both of these two. Okay, so the simple experiment, we will be taking this in a pan, in a fry pan we will be taking, and we will be heating this. Okay, here we will be taking the butter or wax. Okay, at first it is in solid form because that is in room temperature, but when we will be heating that, we will start increasing the temperature, it melts. Okay, for wax also same thing we will be getting. And afterwards, if we again reverse the process, that means the malted butter or wax, the liquid form if we take, and if we decrease the temperature or if we keep it in open, slowly it will lose the heat, and its temperature will decrease. And after that we will be seeing that again the butter comes to its original state, or the wax also come to its original state, that means solid. Okay, when the temperature will be lower than 32 degrees centigrade. Now with juice we will be doing the just the reverse experiment. We will be doing with juice in a container, in a beaker or in a cup. We will be taking any kind of juice, orange juice or whatever we can take. We can take water also here. Okay, so here we are taking orange juice. This is in liquid form at room temperature. Now if we freeze it, that means if we cool it down, we will put it in the refrigerator, then after some time we will see a solid form of it. Okay, it solidifies in the beaker. Okay, so this is solid form of juice. Okay, instead of juice we can take water also, as we form ice in a refrigerator. In the same manner we can do that. Okay, so slowly if we keep this solid form or solidified form of juice or ice, that means if we keep it in open, okay, this solid juice, okay, this is solid form. If we keep it in open, then slowly it will from the atmosphere it absorbs heat and all, absorbs heat and its temperature will increase, and afterwards, after some time, we will see it melts and the again it will come back to its liquid. So here we can see that from solid we are getting the liquid form by applying heat, and from liquid we are getting the solid form by cooling it down. So this applying heat or taking out the heat, we can change the state of matter. Now regarding this effect of heat on matter, we will be doing some we will discuss some points, okay, or some terms we will discuss. Suppose when we are getting ice to water, okay, this process is called melting or fusion. Melting or fusion. Now the temperature of ice is 0 degree centigrade, and the temperature of water, this is also 0 degree centigrade, okay. When the ice will ice starts melting, the temperature of ice is 0 degree centigrade, and when all the ice will it will melt and it will form the water, then also the water's temperature will be 0 degree centigrade only, okay. So after all the ice getting converted into water, then only the temperature of water increases, okay. And at this point of time, we will call this temperature 0 degree centigrade as melting point. Melting point of okay, melting point of ice. So melting point of ice is 0 degree centigrade. Why this? Though we are applying heat here, or the ice is absorbing heat from the atmosphere, but the temperature will remain constant. Why this will happen? Because when the ice is converting to water, during this conversion the structure or the molecular structure, we will say, or the intermolecular arrangement of ice, that will change, okay. In the intermolecular space will increase, and it will form the state of the solid state will convert to the liquid state, and because of this change of the state and all, the heat which we are applying, the heat will work on this change of temperature, interconversion of state. That's why it will not increase the temperature. The temperature will remain constant at 0 degree centigrade. In the same manner, if we get water to ice, that means this process is called freezing. So during this process also, the temperature of water and the temperature of ice is also both will be 0 degree centigrade, and at that point this will be called as freezing point. Freezing point of water, this is also 0 degree centigrade, okay. So as the heat which we are applying, or the heat during the process of melting, the heat which we are applying, that is used to change the state of the matter, change the state of the ice, to increase the intermolecular space between the ice particles or molecules of ice. So the heat is not increasing the temperature. At this point of time, the temperature of ice and water, both will remain same. Okay, when all the ice will get converted into water, then only the temperature of water will increase. The same thing we will be getting during the freezing of water. When water from we are taking out the heat from water or we are putting the water in refrigerator, the temperature of water will decrease and it will come to 0 degree centigrade, and then the water starts forming the ice. It starts changing its state from liquid to ice, and at this point of time this process is called freezing, and the temperature will remain constant because the temperature or the as we are taking out the heat, this will work on the change of the state of water to ice. Okay, so temperature will remain fixed at 0 degree centigrade. So for this and this melting point or freezing point, this is for water we are saying this is fixed for any substance. Okay, as we are talking about water, so water's pure water's melting point or freezing point both will be 0 degree centigrade only. So from this we can get experiment, or we can test that whether the sample of water is pure or not. If it is not pure, then the melting point or freezing point will not be 0 degree centigrade temperature. Okay, so this is true for each and every matter. All are having fixed melting. All the pure substances, they are having fixed melting or freezing point. Now when we will change the water to water vapor, here also we have to heat the water, and this process is called boiling. During this boiling process, the temperature of water, when if we increase the temperature of water, if we put some water in a pan and we will start heating that, then we will see, if we put a thermometer in the pan and we will see when the temperature of the thermometer reaches 100 degrees centigrade, then only the water starts boiling. Okay, we will see the bubbles in the water. Now at this point of time, water starts changing its state from water to water vapor. Now the temperature of water, that is 100 degrees centigrade, and when all the water will convert to water vapor, then also we will see the temperature of water vapor is 100 degrees centigrade only. Okay, so at this point of time, as we have seen for ice to water conversion or water to ice conversion, the temperature is fixed during the change of the process, during the change of the states. So here the temperature of water to this during the boiling process, the temperature of water and water vapor will remain fixed at 100 degrees centigrade if the water is pure then. Okay, and this temperature is called boiling point. This temperature is called boiling point of water. Okay, so for pure water, boiling point will be 100 degrees centigrade. If we go to the reverse process, this is called condensation. If we cool down the water vapor, then it loses the heat, it releases heat, and it again come back to the water state, liquid state. Okay, so during this change of state from water vapor to water, that means the condensation process, here also we will see the temperature of water vapor is 100 degrees centigrade and the temperature of water is also 100 degrees centigrade. When all the water vapor will convert to water, then only the temperature can increase. But before that, during this process of changing interconversion of water vapor to water, the temperature will remain fixed at 100 degrees centigrade, and this is called condensation point. So condensation point for pure water vapor is also 100 degrees centigrade. as the heat we are applying, or the heat which we are uh, taking out from water vapor, both is working on the change of the state to increase or decrease the for water to water vapor conversion. The heat is increasing the intermolecular space between the water molecules, and during the condensation point, the heat which we are taking out from water vapor, that is working on to decrease the intermolecular space between the water vapor molecules. That's why they are coming closer, and it's changing from its state to water vapor to water. Okay, so this boiling point and condensation point is also fixed for pure water and water vapor. Okay, if the water sample is not pure, then the boiling point or condensation point will change. Sublimation. This is the process where directly from solid state we will get the gaseous state without passing through the liquid state. The substances which will show this sublimation, them we will call as sublimable substances, like camphor, iodine, ammonium chloride, ammonium chloride is NH4Cl. Okay, camphor, or the room fresheners, or naphthalene, these are sublimable substances. If you keep some camphor or naphthalene in open, then slowly you can see its size will decrease. Okay, gradually its size will decrease, it's become smaller. Okay, and you can get the smell of camphor or naphthalene. So as these substances will show sublimation from solid state directly, they will go to the gaseous state. We can heat the substances, otherwise from it can absorb the heat from the atmosphere, and it can form the gaseous form of the substances. Okay, so this process is called sublimation. See, there are some difference between gas and vapor. There are certain substances, certain elements or substances, we can say, which are gaseous in nature at normal conditions of temperature and pressure. Okay, so like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, or other gases are also there, chlorine and etc., ammonia. Okay, so many gases are there which are in at normal condition of temperature, this in short I am writing, and pressure. Normal temperature and pressure, they are in gaseous form only. So these substances we will call as gases. Okay, but vapors are those substances which on heating we will be getting the gaseous form of it. Okay, like as from water is solid, water is liquid. So when we are applying heat on water, we are getting water vapor. Okay, so this is the gaseous form of water. So as we are applying heat, then only we are getting the water vapor. So at normal condition of temperature and pressure, it's in liquid form, it's in the form is water, but when we are applying heat, then only we are getting the water vapor. So this is the difference between gas and vapor. Gases are naturally they are in gaseous form, but vapors are when we are applying heat and we are getting the vapor state of the substances. These are called water vapor. The same manner, from iodine iodine is solid. When we are heating iodine, if we apply heat on it, we will be getting, this is iodine vapor. This is violet. Iodine vapor, this is violet in color. And so when we are heating solid iodine, we will be getting the violet vapor of iodine vapor. Okay, so normally iodine is solid, it's in solid form, but after applying heat we are getting the vapor state of iodine. So in this manner we can say the difference between gas and vapor. Gases are naturally they are in gaseous form, whereas vapors we are getting after applying heat on certain substances. In today's class up to this only. Okay, next day few experiments are there, so that we will be doing in our next class. Till then you go through the study material, go through this chapter properly, and try to solve the worksheets which are there, that you try to solve. And till then keep studying, revise the unit test portion also, don't forget that, and keep on doing this. Okay, have a good day. Thank you.